I'm saying welcome to this workshop. It's been advertised as getting your harmonica to sing. And I was going to run this workshop actually for the chromatic weekend that was, I think, due next weekend, put off because of COVID-19. And on that, I think I'd called it Slow, the magical sound of the chromatic. And I guess this is going to be an amalgamation of both of those titles. It's really about, it's very much about the sounds we produce. And I think the harmonica has got this amazingly beautiful sound. And particularly, I guess, when we're playing slow numbers. I play quite a lot of traditional music, slow airs, and that's where I think the harmonica is almost in a world of its own, and where I think it sings. I think the harmonica is quite a unique instrument in terms of it is so close to the human voice, and maybe unlike any other instrument I can think of, it almost replicates the human voice. And it's physically close to the human voice as well, isn't it? You know, when we play the harmonica, it's such a physical closeness to it that it's merely an extension, I sometimes think, of the voice box. So we're going to, in this workshop, the aim is we're going to produce beautiful music. And we're going to start with sort of some techniques that I think are about playing slowly. And I see slowing down music as a challenge. In ways, I think the fewer notes there are, the slower the tempo, the greater the techniques placed on the harmonica player. It somehow seems easy, it doesn't it? I'm going to slow this one right down, but actually then other things really start hitting in. Your breathing, the tone, your posture, all things which are sort of going to be crucial to actually getting that lovely sound that the harmonica is capable of. And we're going to be looking at those, but if we're really going to let the harmonica sing, we're going to look at one other thing, emotion. Because I think to get that sort of sense of closeness to it, particularly in slow airs and some of the music we're going to look at, they are sort of emotional pieces, and we're looking for that added sort of ingredient to what you're doing this afternoon. We're going to apply these techniques then to the tunes two of the tunes I advertised. Summertime, which I'm presuming everybody at least knows the tune. I suspect a number of you will play it, and also Shibag Shimor. Now again, can I just see, if it's sort of thumbs up, how many of you play Summertime on the chromatic? Can I just see? Okay, sort of bit over half. Does anyone play Shibag Shimor on the chromatic? All right, 3 people, great, okay. So they're both, I've chosen them both because they are sort of relatively, quote, easy tunes to play. But I'm going to ask you, as I do it, to almost set your own level. So again, let's just see, can I just see how many of you would count yourselves as a sort of beginner? How many of you would say, well, actually, I've been playing, I don't know, less than 6 months, or, 6 months a year? Who's a beginner? Can I just see? 1 person, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's lovely, that helps. What about intermediate players? Who would count themselves as intermediate? Okay, and advanced players? Okay, great, thank you. I was a bit worried everyone was going to be an advanced player. In that case, I would have been sort of ducked out at this stage. That's great, thank you. That sort of gives me an idea. We're going to be doing stuff all together, but there are various times I'm going to say that actually, if you want, at this point, you turn off the sound, my sound, and you can almost just be practicing on your own. What I want is you are going to be playing. I'm not going to be playing much, I hope. This is your workshop. It's you doing the work on it. So we're going to, yes, it's about playing. I've recently with lockdown, I've been doing lessons using Skype. I've never done Skype before for lessons. I've always felt it's too important to have the face-to-face, one-to-one. I'm really enjoying Skype as a way of teaching the harmonica. Zoom, I think, is rather different. It's another ball game completely because of numbers. You know, one-to-one, it's great. I can give feedback and so on. We're going to have to, you know, bear with me as I sort of feel my way with this. Sam's going to provide vital support at various times, but sort of bear with me as we go through that. It's not going to be possible to give the sort of feedback that I would like to do. Had this been a chromatic weekend, I could have come round and talked one with one. So that's not going to be possible, but there'll be some general pointers. And it may be possible at some stage to have you playing solo if you want to do so, and I can give you feedback, personal feedback at that stage. But we will have the opportunity certainly to work, to practice together. And you've got the opportunity to do that in your own room as well during this Skype. And you'll have the opportunity, as I say, to play solo if you want to do so. A bit terrifying, but do grab it if you feel up to it. I'll stop at sometimes for questions. I will ask you if you've got a text or comment you want to do, then do add it and I'll try to respond to those as well. And just before I go into the thing, I talked about this right at the very beginning. It's a box that somebody made for me, somebody I teach. It's a harmonica warmer for chromatics. And those of, well, you all play chromatic. If you play sort of away from home in the winter, you'll know the pain of the chromatic. It seizes up. It's the valves aren't working. It's popping, and what this does is to heat the harmonica up to a sort of warm body temperature, I'll say, and maintain that heat. So hopefully my harmonicas are going to play well. Sod's law will be they'll be popping like hell all the way through, but earlier on today they were lovely and they were playing. But they are kept in the box, and they're kept at a sort of standard temperature. I said to the person who did them, I said, you know, I think there's a market for those. I think there really is. That somebody is producing one in Scandinavia, hugely expensive, but you know, they're good. It works well usually. So let's get playing. Let's do something. We're going to start then with sort of putting the ideas into practice, into almost the technique before we go into the practice itself. And this is where the piece of paper I want isn't in front of me. I'll start without. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, this is going to be so simple just to start off with. We're going to talk about how to get good tone. One thing, and bear with me if I'm, you know, if this is really old, you know, thing. One is posture, all right? When I play, I am probably going to be like this, which is not good posture. I've got a bum left arm and that's the easier way to play. Classic harmonica, particularly blues players, is to do this, isn't it? And we bend half double because it looks amazing, it looks cool. To get really good sound, we want to be sitting really up. So pretty well straight back, so the air can come straight up and through the larynx through. Rather than this tight in, it's that. It's going to also be about getting that tone through how we breathe. When you play the harmonica, you're taking a breath, you do this as you take it in, filling the lungs, or do you do this, where I'm breathing down into the diaphragm? That's where we want the air to go, down into the diaphragm, where we can take more air rather than the slight amount in here. But as we do this, I'm tensing here, I'm tensing my throat, I'm tensing my mouth, and the tone is going to go. So we're going to be absolutely relaxed. We're then going to just play a note, and I'm going to suggest sort of 5 on playing a C, 4 or 5, and we're just going to get a sort of, and I'm just breathing, I'm not pushing it, I'm just letting the sound come. All right, can you just do that? And you know, for those of you who are sort of well advanced, then bear with me on this. But you know, listen to your tone. Those of you who are, you know, experienced players, listen to your tone. Just play that note and listen to what you're doing. And then I want you to do a draw breath. Does the draw breath have the same tone as the out breath? The two should have the same tone. There's a tendency to harmonica players to overdo that draw. And we're doing that, and so often the draw note comes out wah. We're going for that lovely equal sound on those two. And think tone, think tone, think tone. Listen to what you're doing, listen to your sound. So we're going for that. Okay. Let's then do something about breath and breathing. Oh, we'll do one more thing on this. Mouth. There's whole debates on ways of producing the sounds, pucker or tongue block. Can I just see on hands up, you know, who plays tongue block here? Can I just see, hold your thing up? Okay, who plays pucker? Slightly more pucker than that. Who plays the sort of putting your tongue as a tube and playing in a U shape through the thing? I'd love to be able to do that. I've never worked out how to do it. I think we ought to swap, because it's a third way of doing it, isn't it? There's huge debates about it. Some purists will say, Jim Hughes being one of them, if you've come across Jim, that tongue block gives you a better tone because the voice is almost like on the guitar, you know, you've got this chamber and you've got less tension, as opposed to, no, I'm slightly exaggerating. Can you hear a difference there at all? Yeah, no, I was pushing it, I was emphasizing it, but there is an issue about, you know, if we can get the mouth absolutely loose, very relaxed, then the tone is going to be there. So possibly something to work towards in terms of, you know, learning to tongue block. Although, you know, look at people like Brendan Power, fantastic tone, he tongue blocks, he puckers, all right? So, you know, it's not the only way to do it by any means. So let's just do this. I want you to play, we'll take that 5 blow. I want you to take a good deep breath into the diaphragm. And I want you to start that note on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, you start. And I want to see how long you can go with that note. If I was listening to you in the room, I'd ask you to do it so it's making that same noise all the way along. It's not going louder and softer, it's just doing that. So on the count of 3, when you've finished, when you've run out of breath, put down the harmonica. I want to see how long we can keep going on it, okay? So on the count of 3, on that 5 blow, 1, 2, 3. It's become a fight to the finish here. I was trying to keep going there. Brilliant. Actually, you did really well. All of you did well. It's about, you know, using that diaphragm and getting going. Great. Okay, let's do it the other way. Let's do it as an in-breath. We're going to do the 5 draw, all right? So first of all, if everyone's come across Joe Felisko, I remember doing a workshop with Joe Felisko, and Joe, we were doing something about in-breath, and he pointed it out that nearly everyone in the class we were on diatonics took an in-breath. You know, we were going to do the sort of empty your lungs in-breath, but everyone went as we picked up the harmonica. It's almost we're doing it by thing. So empty your diaphragm, and then I want you to go for an in-breath. See how long you can keep going. Puts the harmonica down when you're finished, when you're full up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I suspect we all get to, some people are still going, brilliant, all right. Again, you did really well, you did really well. It's about being able to control one's breath. Playing slow is about breath. A lot of it is about controlling your breath, being able to manage those long breaths, all right? And sort of almost, you know, developing that thing of taking in large quantities of air there or expelling at the right time. Great, one more thing, let's try this. Then we're going to go on to some playing. Playing slow is about playing, it's about varying the intensity. I used to go in for the National Harmonica League competitions, and I remember sort of almost each time that there was a great adjudicator, and he kept on saying, you know, put more variety, you know, soft, loud, get that sort of variety into your playing. I'm used to playing in the pub in a sort of social, you know, a session, and everybody plays loud, hell for leather. It's all one volume. With slow, we're going to change that volume because volume is going to be part of the emotion. So let's just do this. I want you to start really softly. And I want you, first of all, to play as softly as you can, 5 blow. Just really, really soft. I'm not worried about how long you keep going. Keep it as so soft. Imagine there's a baby in the room. And if you play loudly, the baby's going to wake up and scream. So soft, 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 soft. Still a sound. Soft, soft, soft. Still producing a sound. Okay, let's try that on the in-breath. Okay, you don't have to continue this for 45 seconds, all right? Keep it as soft as you can. Again, that baby is about to wake. It's got to make sure he or she doesn't wake up. Okay, now that's about breath control, hugely about breath control. Let's try this then. I want you just to start soft. So I'm going to, with my hand, raise it, and as I come up here, you're going to go louder, come up, you know, loud, if you like, fortissimo, if we're talking musical thing, and then down to sort of pianissimo, okay? Let's try from here. So starting, counting into 3, 1, 2, 3, start now. Louder, 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 really loud, and going right down, soft, 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 soft. You've still got the breath, going really loud, and coming really down, soft, 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 soft. Okay, lovely, good. I don't know whether you often do exercises for practicing. I'm not good at exercises, but they're useful, you know, and something like that. One more thing to do, and then we will move. Moving around the harmonica, again, this is true of any playing, isn't it? But let me just do an octave. I'm going from 5 up there to sort of 8. Just do that. And maybe the sort of exercise, again, these are giving you things to do elsewhere, but Yeah, just playing around with the harmonica, getting the jumps, knowing your way around the harmonica, so you can hit straight in on that high note when there's a leap, or down to the bottom when that's a leap. Okay, let's play some music. Let's do some music. Now, bear with me. This is where the technology hits in. I tell you what, can I just have sound from people, please? Sam, can you unmute everyone?
I'm muted.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Hang on a sec. Oh, everyone is on, yeah.
There are one or two people still muted.
People need to unmute themselves because the latest upgrade of Zoom says that you have to have consent to be.
Oh, thank you very much. I really, when I've hosted a meeting, I've loved it when I could unmute or mute people. So if you could unmute yourself. Sarah, you're still muted. If you would like to unmute yourself, don't worry if not. So bottom left, you've got the microphone. Yeah, is that all right? I'm not going to make anybody talk or play. You're all right. Basically, any comments on those sort of exercises? Yeah.
Can I just let you know that I'm not playing on a chromatic? I don't have one, so that's why I wasn't.
Okay, all right.
I'm on a diatonic.
Okay, that's lovely.
I'm just joining in as much as I can.
Okay, fine. Thank you. All right, lovely. All right, and yeah. That's fine. I'll try to make things, you know, there'll be some in the music, there'll be one or two notes which on a diatonic won't necessarily be there, but, you know, play where you can in this. Recommend a chromatic also. Yeah, and was it Barry? Was that somebody else? I'll take Joe, yeah.
I do circular breathing when you're playing the harmonica.
Say that again.
Do you have to do circular breathing?
No, I don't. I haven't got that skill at all. No.
Or is it required sometimes for those long notes?
Yes, yeah. Does anyone here use circular breathing?
No.
No.
I'd love to be able to circular breathe. Really would.
That's Aborigines, isn't it? Circular breathing.
Also some flute players and all sorts use circular breathing.
Bagpipe players use circular.
Yeah. Various wind instruments do. Yeah.
I play most of these tunes like Shebeg Shamor and Neil Gow's Lament on diatonic.
Okay, right.
I do a little bit in chromatic, but not much. But I'm more comfortable on diatonic. It's pretty much the same. I'm just letting you know that.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. All right. Let's move on. Let's play some music then. So I'm going to. So if you can mute. Oh no. Would you like to mute yourselves, or if? And I'm going to hope that this works. Right. You should have the score to Summertime. It is. Have you all got that?
Yes.
Yeah, great, lovely. Okay. Let's do it on a sort of call response. I'm going to play just to begin with, and you know, a number of you will already be playing this, but we're going to just play it in, sort of get you know, rapidly to sort of get grips with it. We've got tab and we've got music. I always use, when I'm sort of teaching, I always use both because the music gives us the length of the notes. I've yet to find a tab which really gives a good sense of the notes. And I'm just going to play that first phrase, starting on the sixth blow, and then I'm going to ask you to come in. And I forget the lady's name. The numbers here are going to be, for chromatic, they're going to be slightly different for the diatonic. I'm sorry about that. But it goes like this. Okay, I'm going to count you in. I'll go 1, 2, and you come in, okay? Let's take it, you're muted, so it really doesn't matter what sound you make, okay? Here you go, 1, 2. Okay, it might help if I play it through with you, actually. Let me play it as well. Okay, here we go again. I'm going to play it, you play it after me, but I'm going to play with you. So let's play it together. I'm going to count in 2 and then you come in. 1, 2. Let's do it once more, okay? 1, 2. Okay, let's go on. The next phrase. So we've got quite a long draw breath there. Do you want to try it with me? We'll go, I'm going to count in 1, 2, and then in. Yeah, 1, 2, and then in. 1, 2. Okay, and then we go back onto the thing. Have I lost you? What happens if I do that? No. Okay. I was hoping I'd get all your pictures. I haven't got them. All right. So I'm going to have to just continue like this for a moment. All right. So back into that main tune, the first phrase again. Do you want to play that with me? 1, 2. Okay, and then we're into the, I've jumped, yes, and then we're into the last patch of it. And you see why we were practicing that intake of breath. We've got 9, a beat of 9 at the end to hold on to. So if we just go from that, it's the 4th line down. Okay, do you want to just practice that on your own for a moment? Just have a go on those lines, playing the tune out. Okay, right. When you're ready, I'm going to just stop you. Okay. That's really pushing you in, and the trouble is I'm not aware of how far people have got. Let me just see on a sort of hands. How many people would want a little bit more on that? Just sort of getting to grips with that. Can I just see on hands? 1, 2, yeah, okay. Let's take it. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes. Those of you who reckon you're there with it, start playing around with it. So you've got the tune. What will you do with that tune? How can you actually embellish it in any way? All right. So just sort of free up from the tune and see where you go. Okay. But people who are with that, would you like me to? No, you practice. I'll give you time, a couple of minutes on your own on that. Okay, can I just right. Sam, I've just gone and put myself on as sort of speaker. Can we just, if I do gallery view, maybe I can, oh, that's great, lovely. Can I ask Sarah, can you just unmute Sarah a moment? Sam?
Oh,
Right, Sarah, what diatonic are you playing on? Can you just tell me, is it a 10-hole?
yes.
It's a 10-hole, fine, okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm an intermediate diatonic player, but I have never played a chromatic. I'm okay on this at the moment.
okay,
I'm okay.
fine, okay, right.
Yep.
So I won't, I'll leave you.
I'm
with,
all right.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
Just wave if you need something, you know, whether you want something specific.
Thanks.
Okay, let's move it on, because I said when we're playing slow, we're going to add in emotion. And I don't know if you do with this with your playing. If anyone's come across Grant Dermody, he's based in Seattle, was based in Seattle in the States, diatonic player, I think one of the top teachers in the world of the diatonic. He talks about getting into the groove. He talks about if you're going to play a piece of music, putting yourself in a context. Now, I want you just to think about summertime for a moment. Summertime and the living is easy. The fish are jumping, the cotton is high, your dad is rich, your mother's good looking, hush, little baby, don't you cry. Okay? I want you now to imagine yourself in a context where you're playing that song. Not necessarily a context in terms of the people, but where are you? You're not going to be, you could be in your room, you know, in your head, you could be outside, you could be by the river, you could be up in the mountains, you could be in a crowded pub. Where are you? Who's with you? What are you doing? Because if you like, I don't want, you know, you're not playing the harmonica in your picture, you're somewhere, you're putting yourself in a context, in a situation. What are you doing? Who's with you? Where are you? And what are you feeling then? Does anyone want to share the picture they have? You don't have to. Okay, I'll tell you mine. I'm sitting by a lake. I live in the country here, there's a lake nearby. It's a hot afternoon in summer, and I'm sitting there. And there's some sort of buzzing flies around, but I'm all on my own. It's incredibly peaceful. It's incredibly it's hot. It's the end of the afternoon, like it was last week. Actually, it's sunny here in Alasdair this afternoon now, but it's that. So I want to just play you summertime as I'm thinking of. And I could see myself in that sort of context. Now, I want you to play summertime in the situation you see yourself. You're bringing that emotion. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you feeling fantastic? Are you lonely? What's happening in here? That's what you're going to play. over to you. I'm going to give you 4 minutes, 5 minutes today. Okay. I don't want to interrupt your playing, but let's see where we are. I'd love somebody to play what they were doing for us, if anybody feels up to it. I'm not interested, you know, there can be bum notes. I'm not worried about bum notes because I always say the music moves on. As a player, we get stuck with the bum notes, but the music's moved on and people listening to us have moved on with it. Anyone like to play? Thank you, Christopher. Right, can we give some, thank you. Lovely. Well done. I love your squeezed notes, giving it that really blue feel to it as well. That sort of, you know, using the tongue to just almost slightly bending those notes. Anyone else? Thank you. Yes, we've got a couple of people. I'll come to Anthony in a moment. Michael. Oh, let's start with Anthony. You're unmuted. Anthony, go for it. Thank you. Well done. Lovely. Thank you. And what's chromatic are you playing? What is it?
Sorry, say again.
What make of harmonica? What model is it?
That is a Suzuki Fabulous.
Okay, it's a nice tone to it. It's lovely.
Handmade. Cost about £1,800.
Well, well, there you are. You see, I thought, God, that's a nice tone to that. It's a lovely, lovely tone, lovely tone. Right. Lovely. Very nice. And Michael, can we unmute you? Sam, can we unmute Michael? No? Oh, actually, Michael's got to unmute himself, has he? Yes. Michael, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, I didn't know you meant me.
Sorry, oh, okay. Are there more than one Michael?
Is there more than one?
I don't know. Anyway, it's Michael Heath, yes. Okay.
Oh, all right, okay.
Are you happy to play?
Yeah, okay. I wasn't thinking of that, but okay, I'll do it.
Oh, I see. Oh, yes. Lots of different emotions.
Okay, thank you.
That zooming up was a moment of sort of, almost of excitement in it, and then you come into that little bluesy bit at the end.
Yeah,
That's really okay.
Try and lighten shade.
And Michael Heath, do you want to as well? Do you want to? But you will, Michael Heath, you need to unmute.
Oh, sorry. Another one.
He hasn't unmuted. No. No. All right. Michael Heath. No, we're not going to get him. Okay. Michael, we need you to unmute. That's it. Okay. Over to you. Love the use of the chromatic. Very nice. Okay, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different versions. So they're all very different from each other. It strikes me, we've got, I don't know how many people, 24 plus. We could have, 24 different versions of it played. That thing about, okay, you've learned the tune, then you go into the emotion. What's the emotion? Feel it, see you there, see yourself there. Same with playing the blues, I would say, with students. Where are you? What's it about? What's the story? And that's what you're getting over in the piece of music. And then you get, I think, something very, very personal in the way that you play. It was with Grant Dermody a couple of years ago. He had us playing, I don't know if you know the tune, Easy. And it's, like all these things, it is supposedly somewhat easy and then it's fiendishly difficult, or there are difficulties in playing it. But he had 18 of us playing it, one by one. And we were, that of where are you, what are you thinking? And they were different versions. I remember one person actually just, there would be men of a certain age and one person being in tears as he was playing, because there was such emotion. And he said, actually, the last time I played this was to my mother when she was just before she died. And so he played with that emotion, and it was extraordinary what he was playing. So, I'm not asking you necessarily to burst into tears, but it's that thinking of, getting yourself there And then I think we come up to another level in terms of our playing. Right, I have a predicament. We've got sort of 15 odd minutes. Sam, is that sort of right, looking at you?
Yeah, I mean, you probably got a little bit more if you need it.
Okay. What I suggest I'll do then is this. I'm going to look at Shibag Shimor with you, and we'll spend just a short time on that. But then I'll spend from about 4 o'clock, 5 past, I'll do what did I call it? Lover's Ghost. For anybody who wants to stay on for that, it's going to be at a sort of more advanced level in ways, but it's I'm sure everyone is certainly capable of playing it. But if you want to stay, otherwise we'll have a sort of slight pause, a handover if you like. Then, are there any questions before I do move on? Any points? Any questions? Can we just? If you'll need to unmute yourself if you want to say something. Any questions?
I'm interested in your favourite maker of harmonica, Tony.
I play various things. I play Seidel, and I have the Saxony, which in something like a folk session, it's quite a loud instrument. So it cuts through the banjos, which is a sort of if anyone plays folk music, you'll know about banjos, and it's got volume to it. It's responsive. It also bugs me because in the winter the valves stick, and that's where the box comes in. My heater comes in, but I think it's a lovely instrument. I dug out recently one of my old, I've got boxes of harmonicas. One of the old Hohner, was it 275 or something? Super chromatic. You might have got some of these somewhere. It's a really sweet sound. It's a wooden body, and it's a beautiful.
It's a Chroma 270, actually, Tony. I have 3 from before the Second World War, and I play them regularly. Yeah, they're delightful.
It's a rosewood, isn't it? I think, and the tone is so sweet. It's lovely. So those are 2. I have it's a chromatics which I use as a sort of practice. In fact, I was playing this by mistake when I was playing Summertime, and it was, I don't know if you heard it popping. It hasn't been in the sort of chamber, the warm chamber, but it's all right. It's thin at the top, but it's a bit of a workhorse. So, but the Seidel I do like. Only they stick, and I don't, it's a pain, but then most of them do in damp conditions.
They're stainless steel reeds, aren't they, on the side?
Steel reeds, yeah. And whether they are more prone to condensation, I don't know. I just wonder whether the steel reed, the steel body, is more prone to condensation. If they are cold and I'm breathing into them, maybe that's the problem.
Can I say, I was just going to say that out of all my chromatics, I've got a deluxe steel Seidel, and it's the best for not sticking, but it's not my favourite harmonica. It's got slightly different holes. It's just ironic, really, because it seems to be the stainless steel are pretty bulletproof compared with the Suzuki is about the worst.
You must tell me your secret for not getting it. Because I play I have the others in. This is the sort of whatever, isn't it? The Seidel deluxe steel. And I cheat. I don't know if any of you cheat. I play harmonicas. This is in the key of G. I have chromatics in the key of C, which is really cheating. But if I'm going to play sort of Irish music and fast, it's easier to switch to the key, and then the breathing patterns are easier. So I'm afraid I do cheat. I use different scales, and I do use the steel, the super chromatic set. Yeah.
Tony, I just like same subject. I play in the key of G because I play like a lot of sessions folk music, and it's easy to switch to D from the key of G.
Right.
But until I saw your music today, I thought, oh, it's in C. I've never played anything in C. But yeah, stunningly easy to just switch between any key from G, I find. And playing that in C, everything was on the draw, so it added something to it. So,
right, yeah,
so
fantastic.
I just find I can't play in the C now because I played too long in the G.
Right. Oh, fantastic. You see, I'm afraid I'm a lazy player, so I will play in, I will transpose into C, and therefore I'll play it in the key of the chromatic. And I'm a lazy player. I admit to that. Occasionally, sometimes I will play, but I hardly use the chromatic as a chromatic instrument. But it's my way of coping with it. Jim Hughes, if anyone had lessons with Jim, I had lessons with Jim Hughes, fantastic. And Jim was an absolute purist. You play one chromatic and it's a C chromatic, and that does you for absolutely everything. And it did him for absolutely everything. But I'm afraid I reach for the other tunings. Should we just have a quick look at Shibag just to introduce you to it, and then you've got the music and you can sort of take it on if you want to. So if I go into shared screen, I'm going to pull it up. So Shibag Shimor is, it was written by, you may have come across the name of Carolan. He was a harpist, a blind harpist, who sort of wandered Ireland composing tunes and earning his living by selling tunes. And this was, I believe, I read somewhere, the first tune he wrote. Shibag Shimor happened to be some mountains, some peaks, I believe. There were also apparently fairy rings. So I don't know why. Well, I think it was looking in the sort of looking at these two peaks. It's a lovely tune. I'm going to play it through the whole thing through to you first. So. I think it's lovely. It's again, I said at the beginning, getting your harmonica to sing. And I think as one plays this, think of the harmonica as a voice. Think of it singing these notes up. So certainly in the beginning of the B part, when it goes up to that A, yes, and just singing up there, singing up to that top note there. Should we do it sort of call and response? I'll play it slowly, and if you come in and sort of come in after me, all right? So I'm going to play the first sort of phrase. Okay, I'm going to count to 2, and then you come in on 3, okay? Take it nice and steady. 1, 2. Let's do it once more, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. I'm afraid we're going to go very fast through this. Next phrase. Let's do that on the count of again 2. 1, 2. And let's take that one from the beginning. No, let's take that last phrase once more. 1, 2. So far we've done. If you want to play with me, do. Otherwise, just sort of listen to the tune. I'll go 1, 2. I'm going to play that once more. 1, 2. Okay, and then we've got these jumps. You want to just practice those on your own, okay? So starting on that, draw 5, blow 6. Over to you, just have a practice of that. Okay, so whoa, what can we do? And then two jumps again. Sorry, I pick one. It's just that to the end of the first part. From that 6th blow on the 3rd stanza down. Okay, just have a go with that. Did you hear the harmonica popping? Right. I'm in a bit of a quandary here. Partly I've lost the thing. Hang on. Right. Okay, sorry, I'd lost my link there. I need some advice here. I'm conscious of time. Would you like me to spend? We'll go on a majority. Would you like me to spend 10 more minutes and then we'll finish? 10 more minutes on Shibag Shimor, so we've gone through it, or would you like just to dip into the Lover's Ghost? On a show of hands, if you'd like me to continue with Shibag Shimor, can you put your hand up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and if you'd like to have a look at Lover's Ghost, put your hand up. It's 6 to 5. Oh, 6! Oh God, it's 6-6. Sam, you could have a casting vote, which is being very unfair. I tell you what, let's let's go on with Shabag Shimor. And then if Sam, you would like me to come back and do another session,
Sure.
maybe I can do a session, and before we end, I will just I'll play you just once through on Lover's Ghost. It is so beautiful. But so we'll continue Shabag Shimor, and you know, if he wants to book me up again, I'll come and do Lover's Ghost. Okay, so let's keep going on. I'll go back into share. Let's just do another sort of, you know, we'll go through the rest of wrong one. We'll go through the rest of it. That's it. Oh. Oh God, it wants me to do Lover's Ghost, doesn't it? I think I might have lost Shabag Shimor. I'll find it this way. I'll be with you in just a minute. I've kind of lost it there. I think. Okay, it's on a Photoshop version, but you've got it there. Okay, so let's just let's play part A again. I'm going to play it through. I'll play it very slowly and try to sort of, you know, try to join in where you can on this one. Starting on blow 5, draw 5. At the beginning, I said about listening to how you play. We'll do it again. I want you to listen to yourself and listen to your first 3 notes. I think sometimes the beginning first notes are so difficult. We tend to do this. And those first notes should be leading in to that blow 6. Just practice that. I'm going to change harmonicas. This one's popping. Just practice that and see if you can get to where you're leading in onto that E, onto that 6th blow. Okay, so let's just play. Do you want to play it with me really slowly, and then we'll have a quick look at part B. So I'm going to go really slowly and come in with me. 1, 2. And the next bit's the fun bit, because this is where you're going to sing with the harmonica. I'll play the phrase and then I want you to play it after me. And then really sing up to that A, that 7 draw. Let's play that again. Do you want to just practice that on your own? It's beautiful, that phrase. Okay. I'm rushing you, but I do want to just get through it. So And let's go on. So that phrase. Just practice that phrase. So we've got so far on part B. And then it's going to this. And again, that's where it just sings. Beautiful. Just try that. So I'd love to do it if we could. No, we won't have everybody playing all at once unmuted, because as Sam says, you know, it would be an absolute, unfortunately, cacophony, although I'm sure you're producing beautiful sound in your own rooms. Let's just go through it together. I'm going to start from the beginning, and let's just do it all together, nice and slowly. Come in, you know, as much as you can, listen to your tone, something to go, you know, to work on. But Shibag Shimor by Carolyn. We're going to start on that 5 blow, and I'm going to count you in on 1, 2. 1, 2. Right. I'm going to pretty well stop there. If you go on with it, I'd like, you know, do go on with that tune, but do what we did with Summertime. Put yourself somewhere and imagine yourself in a context. That's about, you know, being in the mountains. That's where it might be. It might be standing in Sainsbury's queue, you never know. Where would you put yourself and play that? What's the emotion that's there as you play that? Is it elation, being in the fantastic countryside? Is it sadness? Is it, I don't know, you know, whatever, enjoying being alone there? So what's the emotion that goes into that? Because that will then come through in your playing. I'll stop there. I'm sorry we didn't get on to the other one, but I'll certainly, you know, I'm very happy to come back and do that and put in another tune maybe. If you have any comments, I'd be glad to have them. You know, this is the first time I've done a Zoom thing like this, and I'd be glad to have them. You know, too much talk from me, not enough playing for you, too fast, probably yes. But, you know, comments would be really useful. If you want to somehow put them in, that would be great. But thank you for taking part. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you very much, Tony. That's absolutely brilliant.